Hey guys, Marumbo here with Poetry in Africa, shot by Craig Mawanga at Kuneko Fusion Cafe. Poetry in Africa is more than the coffin maker standing up in church asking God to bless his business. It's more than dashikis and different dialects. African poems direct us to the right path. African poems are more deeply rooted than the roots of a baobab tree, the same trees we use in our villages to tell stories. They are more deeply rooted than the roots of our family trees. We are grafted branches of each other. We are family. But we were uprooted, up at the uprising, had the divisions of the villages, the divisions of the pie by buyers from faraway countries, never the baker, never the givers, always the takers. So African poems are taking back their lands. African poems are neither held together at the roots of a dreadlocked man speaking patois, telling us to go to freedom one step at a time, like this was a high school musical. African poems are not looking for murals of better lives because you see, most of our fathers made it from villages and not ghettos. African poems are also not always about poverty, rebuking selfish politicians who steal from a pot of a nation where a portion of love and a concoction of trust should have been brewed together. African poems are more than just tea, tobwa, ntonjane. Sometimes they form into mirrors asking them to look into them to see what they have become. African poems are also not always about rebuking false prophets who take advantage of people's faith. They rebuke people who go to false prophets wanting to receive things that they did not work for, so receive these words. African poems are also not always about rebuking malnourished children with big bellies begging for money. African poems try to give them hope, but they do rebuke big-bellied men with malnourished minds trying to take advantage of little girls. African poems don't come with the customary fly buzzing about, sticking to the nose of the child, or the Bono concert asking you to save it. African poems are known by God. They know of redemption. African poems are more than just about war, blood, black skin, selling of each other to white folk in exchange for salt. African poems are more than just mere talk. They walk the walk. They have a certain swagger that knows of the certainty of pain, the certainty of loss, the birthplace of self-discovery. You see, the mangled bones of who we are begin to come alive when our true nature covers our shame. African poems are sometimes not politically correct, so they say things like nigger, like they were sitting on Obadiah's front porch in Memphis drinking tea with sugar from the plantations that hold their ancestors' bodies, thinking about the boats that carried their bodies there. African poems have dreams too. They talk to Dr. King. They have the story of the king of kings riddled and mangled in them because you see, African poems are runways for the African child to land.